Before I begin, I have to put my glasses on. So for all of you young artists, climb all the ladders you can now. Once you get older, it gets harder. So thank you, Julia Rose, Elder Liz Ozalmik, Nuish Kewe, members of the OCADU Board of Governors, and Chair Lenita Layton, President Anna Serrano, Chancellor Jamie Watt, Vice President and Academic and Provost Caroline Langell, distinguished deans and faculty, my fellow artist Tim Whiten, honored guests, graduates, families, friends, and my family who's watching from home. Christi Belcourt Nitsi Kasson. My name is Christi Belcourt. I am Métis. My grandparents, my dad, and my Métis ancestors come from the Métis community of Manadosa-Gaegan, which means Spirit Lake. In 1844, a priest arrived to the area to set up a Catholic mission, and he renamed the lake Lac Saint-Anne, which is what it is referred to now in English. And this is the story of our lands all across Turtle Island, which is North America. We have names for these places, indigenous names in our languages that still exist and are still spoken. I thank you sincerely for this great honor. I'm so pleased to be able to provide remarks today, and I want to offer my sincere congratulations to each and every artist, every graduate here today in the class of 2025. Your determination and perseverance has gotten you through, and it will carry you forward for your whole life. Since I was a kid, I knew I was going to be an artist. I remember the day clearly. It was sunny. I was about 7 years old, and my friend and I were playing around outside, and she turned to me and she said, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" And out of my mouth poured the word artist. And I remember that it took me aback because I didn't know what an artist was. Now fast forward to 2020, and I indeed did become an artist, and I attended the late Daphne Ojig's retrospective at the Thunder Bay Art Gallery. She ended her talk with these words: "You can make a career in the arts. If you're an artist, you can do this full time. Jump in with both feet." So I went home, I quit my job, and my partner and my daughter and I moved to his traditional territory, and I began to paint full time. As artists, we have something inside of us that needs to be expressed through the arts. It's a drive, a craving, a calling. It's insatiable. We see this world through our eyes, and then it comes inside of us, gets processed and filtered in our artists' brains and distilled into images, words, music, movement, and all the beautiful things that we create. What Daphne didn't mention, however, is that as an artist, you will be chronically underpaid. This is the one true thing, is that we do not become artists for the money. As artists, we get the privilege, or perhaps the curse, to walk through life wide awake. We are sensitive human beings. Sensitivity is not a weakness. It is our superpower. Sensitivity and empathy is our strength. And this sensitivity makes us more prone to see injustices for what they are. As a Métis person whose ancestors and people have experienced displacement from colonization from our lands, government-mandated starvation, disease, residential schools, the injustice system, the child welfare system, and the ongoing epidemic of murdered and missing indigenous people in these lands, I stand in solidarity with all oppressed people in the world, including in Palestine, the Congo, and Sudan, who are currently facing the most brutal genocides of our times. Do not believe the propaganda about Palestinians or about Iran. Fight for the peace that we know is possible. The raging fires in the prairies right now are directly being impacted by all of this war. The climate crisis is not only due to the resource extraction and burning of fossil fuels, but also to the military-industrial complex. Bomb after bomb being dropped and the mining of the materials that it takes to make arms and tech is not only a crime against humanity, it is a crime against the entire planet and every living species on this beautiful Mother Earth. Our Mother Earth, which is a breathing, living being. Our Mother Earth, which knows how to provide and sustain life for everybody. There is enough for all of us here. There is abundance. There is enough for all of us here. And I end with this. You as artists and those who love the arts have a gift to be able to show us all a different way to think and a different way to exist in our world. To stir up courage within the masses with your art, to fight for a world that is truly free from tyranny. This is not a task required necessarily of the artist, but it is a requirement of all of us as human beings. As Toni Morrison so aptly said, when we enter hard times, this is precisely the time when artists go to work. Not when everything is fine, but in times of dread. That is our job. There is no time for despair, no place for pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language, and we do art. That is how civilizations heal. And I will just say that as I look out to all of your bright faces, I can't help but think of all of the students in Palestine, in Gaza, whose universities were blown to bits. And I hope one day that Palestine will be free and all students will graduate.
Everyone, please join me once again in congratulating Christi Belcourt.